everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Erica and I am going to say I am a little flabbergasted with how much my previous video got viewed and got seen. That's way more than has happened in this short amount of time on this channel, and I'm a little confused about it. But since there are a lot of new people here, I thought I'd say really quick, I'm not a quilting channel, so I hope that that doesn't change anything, but that I am working on a quilt and I am going to put a video out when I finish it, but that's a long way away. I've made a lot of progress, but not nearly enough for it to be in a video anytime soon. So I do a lot of costuming and just other random sewing and makes. I love vintage. I have got some vintage patterns that I want to tackle soon and see about getting those out. That being said, this video is going to be a little different in that I'm testing something out for this one. So my husband found at the thrift store, I think he was at Goodwill, I think it was Goodwill, a while back, and found a whole stack of embroidery pattern discs to load onto an embroidery machine. And I think he paid $1 each for them. He just got almost all of them and brought them to me. And this was one of the ones in the set that he found, and it's, well, it's still got the good little sticker on it still. But this one is the holiday collection and lace ornaments. Anyway, so I haven't really tried this one. I don't know if the camera will focus on it because there's some fabric under certain parts of some of the ornaments, but it's basically, it's supposed to embroider the ornament on dissolvable stabilizer, this stuff. So I got just 2 yards of this. I have a whole bunch of regular stabilizer, but I didn't have any water soluble. So this is just off the roll from Joann, and I only got 2 yards of it because we're just testing this out. I would absolutely love for this to work so that maybe I could make some lace ornaments for some people that I love for Christmas gifts next year. So I have threaded up a bobbin on my embroidery machine, and I have the thread in, and it's just Gutermann. It's 100% polyester, but it is their embroidery thread. It's not extra shiny or anything. My husband did get me this that's also embroidery thread by Coats and Clark for machine embroidery that's a little bit shinier, but it looks a little bit thinner. So this is some pretty hefty stitching going on in a very condensed amount of time. So anyway, I thought it would be fun to bring you guys along to testing this out and seeing if we can make it work. I printed out all of the instructions that were on PDFs on the disc. He helped me get them all the designs transferred over to the thumb drive that I need to actually put other designs into my machine. And I just have a Brother, the PE800. It was not the most expensive one, and it won't be, because embroidery is one of those things that I do enjoy every once in a while, but it's not something I'm gonna make a business off of. So anyway, the instructions said to layer like 2 to 3 layers of this stabilizer, and in theory it's supposed to be strong enough that it will hold up to this hefty stitching. I wish it wouldn't glare, but if you can see that. So there's supposed to be lace. This particular ornament that's shown on the cover has cloth under it for applique, and then it does this lace part around it, but those are actual holes. So hence this is supposed to dissolve out of it when it's done and it be lace. I've never tried this before, so let's get this hooped up and we'll give it a go. Okay, so we have some successes so far, sort of, I think, and a failure. So what we have is there were 3 of these little wine glass markers. I don't know what their official name is, but basically marking it so that everybody at a party knows it's your glass. And it printed out the first 2. I haven't gone and dissolved them yet, but I switched out the thread on the 3rd one for the more shiny thread because the first 2 seemed to be working and I wanted to see, and it did not work, and it yanked a hole in it and broke the thread very quickly. And then I put the first thread back in to try that last one again, and I think because the stabilizer had been compromised here, this was all in the same hoop, it just couldn't make it past that spot. So I hope it was that, and that not that I won't be able to use that one. So the next step is to go dissolve this and to see how these 2 that did work worked. So let's go see. Okay, so they worked. This is a little wild. So we have a bell. I don't know if it'll focus. There we go. We have a bell. Ah. There we go. There's a bell. And we have a star. I actually think that's upside down. I think it's supposed to be this way. I don't remember what the other design was supposed to be. I can't see it on the screen. It's on the printout, but I don't have the printout with me right now. I'd have to go dig it out, which is not a problem. I just can't be bothered. So very cool. I probably won't iron them, so I ironed these, and I think I had some starch on the iron because it got all on the back. Thankfully it's on the back. Anyway, they're so cute. I was just trying to get them not soaking wet, but they're still a little damp. I'll probably just air dry them the next time. But yeah, those are really cute. Okay, so that worked, and I hope that the 3rd one didn't work because of the whole stabilizer situation with the first one tearing, because I really wanted to get all of them. But the one I really want to try, I want to try all of them, but next, the one I really wanted to see if it would work is this little gift box there. So it's in 2 separate pieces. It's a box that is, it's made so it's flat, and then you fold it up into the box, and then the bow is separate. But those pieces take, if I'm remembering from the first time I looked at it, they take like over an hour or 2 to stitch out. And I'm filming this in between my husband running an errand and then him getting back and us going to grocery shop for the week. So we like going together. Who cares? Anyway, so I don't have time to do that right now. I might try to do it later. Probably off camera if I try, because that's going to take quite a while. These took about 8 minutes a piece to stitch out. So yeah, they're so cute. They're so cute. I really want to try the other one. Anyway, what I'll probably do next is the box and see, because it doesn't require any applique. But then I might try the others, because also with the others, let's go with this one on front. So there are some flat ones, like there's a couple of stars, and then there's one that says joy. But they're supposed to be 3D. So you print out several of these and then put them all together. So yeah, and I think it would be 2 threads because there would be this one and then there's a gold. So we'll see. But we're gonna do the box next and I will report back and we will see what it looks like. And yeah, this is exciting. And I realize it's February. It's literally the week after Valentine's Day and it's not even we're close to Christmas, but I didn't have time to do this before Christmas and I want to know far in advance whether or not this would work or not, and if it won't work, what I need to do to get it to work, because it's supposed to. So let's see. I will check back in with the box. Okay, it's the next day, and the reason for that is the first box that I tried didn't work. So it got through the first section, went to the second section, and towards the end of that, it tore down here. This side actually was fine. That tore when I was pulling it out of the machine because it got all stuck up in the bobbin. So here's the thing. This is three layers of the stabilizer, and when I went to get when I was cutting it out, a hunk of the thread fell into the bobbin casing. So I actually had to go to my embroidery machine and unscrew the whole bobbin plate cover, take it off, and I found the chunk and I got it out. But when I was in there, I also realized that it has been a lot longer than I thought it had been since I had cleaned out the bobbin casing, which if you know sewing machines, you know how important that is for good stitching. So I did a good clean out while I was in there in desperate hopes that that had something to do with this jamming or not working, because I could see that the potential was there on this one side. So I had enough of the stabilizer left to give it one more go. But one thing I've got to say is this is an 82-minute print on the machine. So it's not something I could just, oops, it didn't work, let me try again real quick. I had to have time. So it is the next day. It is afternoon on the next day. And this time I did 4 layers of stabilizer after completely cleaning out the bobbin, and it did it. So I have the whole box printed out here, and then the bow that goes on top. So this was a 45-minute print. This was an 82-minute print. So this wasn't quick. We had one little mess up right here. I'm pretty sure that ball goes into one of the loops on the box to hold the bow in place, so that could be a problem. I don't know. When it got to that same area on this side, I waited till it did the outline of the I don't know if you can see it, but the here and here, because on this side what happened was it cut it out and then it caused a problem. So I waited till I had done the initial stitching, and then I shoved another couple layers of the stabilizer up under it, and that worked. So we have our correct size ball there. That was the only place that we had problems. The thread did break about 5 times throughout this whole process, so, but it didn't mess it up. So I need to go, I'm gonna go cut most of this stabilizer off from around it, and then I'm gonna go dissolve it in a bowl of water. I don't want to sit there under the faucet like I did with the little ones yesterday and run that much water. That's gonna take a while, and with 4 layers of stabilizer, I just don't know how long it would take, and I don't want to stand there. So I'm gonna go dissolve it, and I will come back after that is dissolved and potentially after it is dry. And I'll have some thoughts as well about this whole thing. Okay, if you saw me struggling to get the tabs in, I was, but here it is. I don't know if it'll focus. Oh, there it goes. The bow. The top and the bottom have a different design. I don't know if it'll focus on it. It is very, very pretty. I love it. It's absolutely beautiful. Adorable little, it's supposed to be a Christmas tree ornament. Little box. Okay, so but here's I'm gonna dive into thoughts. So it's pretty and I love it. However, I've got a few things to say on it. I used this entire roll of thread and had to dip into another roll. Now, I realized that I had some mess ups and that I did some other little pieces that messed up. The third one messed up twice. So I'm pretty sure I could, I mean, I know without all of that, I could have gotten one whole box in one spool of thread between the bobbin and the top. But thread isn't cheap. I mean, it's not the most expensive part of sewing, but it isn't really cheap. I got these on a sale at Joann because I needed this particular thread. Most of my thread comes from not Joann. Either thrift store finds, or I still have some of my grandmother's old thread, or bulk orders online. I did that a few years ago and I'm still working off of a lot of that thread. But I don't usually go to Joann very often and just buy new thread. But I needed specific embroidery thread to make this work that wasn't like really shiny. I have this whole container here that you'll see of embroidery threads that normally are used in this machine, but those are the shinier ones that are not as sturdy for embroidery designs. So I didn't have any just good solid white. So that's a lot of thread. Plus, it was 2 separate hoops for the box itself and then another one for the bow. Both of those of which I had to use 4 layers of stabilizer. So water-soluble stabilizer is also not the cheapest thing. I thankfully was able to use either a coupon or I got that on sale, but there's a reason I only bought 2 yards of it when I did, because it's not cheap. So all that to say is, oh, and then the box was an 82-minute print, the bow was a 45-minute print. So we're talking over, about 2.5 hours of the machine going, in which I had to be in here and babysitting it. I could not walk away. I tried a couple of times and inevitably every time I walked away, the upper thread broke or the bobbin ran out or something. So that's a time dedication as well as wear and tear on the machine. So now, is this worth it to do? That is the question here, and I haven't done the official math to figure that out, but I will say there won't be mass production of this happening. It's not going to, because when you talk about the 3D ornaments that came with the kit, I think, and see, I haven't even proved this, that I could get 2 of the sides in 1 hoop. However, I think you need 6 sides. That would be 3 hoops worth of sides, and for each hoop, 3 to 4 layers of stabilizer. I might be able to get away with the 3 layers of stabilizer on the others because they're not quite as stitched dense, and it has the applique that it goes around for a lot of it. So that would add a label of stability that this one, because it doesn't require any fabric, just did not have. So, but still, that adds up. So it's a material dedication, a time dedication. Is it worth it? I don't know. They're pretty. I want to eventually test out the others. I'm glad this worked. The only one in the whole pack that I cannot do on my machine is the icicle. It's too long for my hoop, and I have the largest hoop that I can have for this machine. So I can't do that one, but I could do all of the ornaments. That will be at a much later date because I am out of stabilizer now. Like, this used the last of it. And I mean, it's pretty, and I'm thrilled that it was successful and that I got it done. I'll have to think on how worth it will be to make several of them. Now, it's absolutely astoundingly cool to me that this was a roll of thread this morning, and now it is a box. There's no fabric in here at all, just thread, and it's a box. So that's pretty cool. There's the cool factor. And like I said, it is very pretty. So I think the next time I do it, I'll just want to make sure that I have another project going that I can work on at the same time, which may seem like a dub, but the machine isn't quiet, so it makes a really lot of noise. So it's really hard for me to focus on another project, so it would have to be one that I'm not having to like figure something out with while this is going, because that would just be too much for my brain. Anyway, so that's the end of this little experiment. I thought it was fun, and I'm glad I brought you guys along for it. I hope it was fun to watch and see this happen and come about. And I'm not going to get rid of the disc. I'll hang on to it, and we'll see how I want to proceed with it. In the meantime, this is going on my sewing table, and I will be staring at it every single day. That was a lot of trial and error. A lot of frustration that went into this, but it's done. So anyway, thanks for joining me for this quick-ish video. I don't know what will be next. I'm really hoping to dive back into another costume next. I have a couple of ideas that I really am looking forward to getting started. I'm still working on the quilt, but it's not going to be the next one because I don't think I'm going to make another video until it's done. And that's a little ways away. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I'd love it if you stick around. I haven't said this in a while, but I would love it if you like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.